Okay, we've seen David before. This time we're going to look at it from a little bit different point of view. Going from the things that we saw in Pompeii, moving up to Florence. What is the difference? What do we have here that is different? I tell you that it depicts David before going to battle with Goliath. So, looking at this, what we see this as obscene. Although it was found obscene when it was first created, although now we recognize it as a great work of art. Looking at it from the Miller test point of view, is it meant to appeal to sexual interest? Not really. Is it patently offensive? Not really. Normally, nowadays, simple nudity doesn't mean that it's going to be patently offensive. Again, I understand a nude person just walking around Regency Square Mall is going to be seen as offensive and illegal. But looking at art, is nudity in and of itself offensive? Again, that's a personal issue, and we have to look at the average person. Would the average person in the United States find just simple nudity to be offensive? Um, then is it patently offensive? And is there any redeeming value? So, of course, since we can say yes to the redeeming value, at least, then we have that this does not meet today's definition of the Miller test. So why would it have been found offensive back in the day? Remember that when we look at obscenity and censorship, one of the reasons was family, to protect the idea of family, to protect the church, and to protect the state. And I've put the kind of explanation here that for Michelangelo's city-state of Florence, at this time Florence was really a powerful kind of nation unto itself. It was surrounded by different enemies: Rome, the Vatican, um, Assisi, other different states around it, Venice. And so this was a political symbol to show how strong the city of Florence was going up against the giants, the Goliaths, in the other city-states in Italy. So while Florence didn't have a problem with this because it represented Florence in a very positive way, as elegance, beauty, athletic, good shape, strength. It also shows. It also shows that as the smaller of the two, Goliath would be the much more powerful, stronger person that David is going to be able to bring down. It shows that Florence is going to be the victor in the end, because everyone at this point, 1504, Christian, would have known the Bible and know the story here. So we definitely see why Rome and some of the other cities found this to be offensive, because it was a political issue. Looking at it from a purely artistic point of view now, not the political background, if this work wanted to come to Jacksonville, what are we going to look at? We're not going to really look at the political situation, because we don't really care, honestly, about um, the problems between Florence, Rome, Venice. We look at it from the image we have in front of us. So, does it appeal to the prurient interest? Is it meant to be sexually exciting? Um, Again, arguments could be made for and against that. Is it patently offensive? Is nudity in and of itself patently offensive? And that would be up to you to make the individual argument, backing it up with specific examples. And does it lack artistic value? And so again, here is where we're going to see it has artistic value, and so we have no problem with it. Looking at just the format of it, not looking at it from an art historian point of view, but just from our point of view. Again, what do we notice? We notice the proportionality, so he's done very well in making David athletic, handsome, patrician, very strong. Why is it that he would need to portray him as nude? Can we imagine that David went into battle with Goliath in the Bible naked? Why would we need to have a nude sculpture here? And so that's a question to think about. Looking from the political point of view, it shows that completely vulnerable they're still going to win. What about from an obscene point of view? Why is it that a completely nude sculpture would not be obscene, possibly? One of the issues is that it's not, I guess for lack of a better explanation, it's not inappropriate. We don't see him with an extremely large penis. We don't see anything out of proportion. We don't look at it, I mean, maybe at first your eyes go to the pubic region and then you kind of look at everything. But most people, when you start looking at this statue as a whole, you don't zero in and just stay on the penis. You look around and you take in the beauty of the entire sculpture. So the nudity is kind of secondary to this because we notice it, for most of us, we notice it and then move past it and look at everything else. Whereas if perhaps he was more well endowed, there would be something that would just pull your attention and you couldn't get away from looking at the penis. But here it is a much, because of the proportion, we're able to take it in its entirety.